A top Trump ally was just caught on tape saying that women should be executed if they have an abortion. It's just so crazy, you'll have to see it to believe it. Now, this comes right after the 2-year anniversary of Roe v. Wade being overturned, a decision that still affects millions of Americans every day. But despite it already being 2 years since Roe v. Wade was overturned, the fight for reproductive rights still rages on. And it still looks like this is a very important issue for voters who are going to the polls this November. And the Biden campaign seems to realize this, which is why Kamala Harris went out and gave a speech calling out Trump for putting the pieces in place to overturn Roe v. Wade. Take a look at this clip.
2 years ago today, I think many of us remember where we were. 2 years ago today, the highest court in our land, the Court of Thurgood and RBG, took a constitutional right that had been recognized from the people of America, from the women of America. And 2 years ago, on that day, I actually made a prediction that overturning Roe v. Wade would be the opening shot on a full-on assault, state by state, on reproductive freedom. And that is exactly what happened. Over the past 2 years, in states across our nation, extremists have proposed and passed laws that criminalize doctors and punish women, laws that limit access to contraception and to fertility treatments like IVF, even some of them trying to revive laws from the 1800s. This is a healthcare crisis, and we all know who was to blame: Donald Trump. And how do we know? Well, as many of you know, I'm a former prosecutor, so let's just look at the facts, shall we? When he was in the White House, Donald Trump handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court because he intended for them to overturn Roe v. Wade. And as he intended, they did. So, it was premeditated. Since extremist legislators across our nation have passed ban after ban after ban, he had accomplices. And Trump has not denied, much less shown remorse for his actions. Instead, he, quote, proudly takes credit for overturning Roe. So it comes down to this. Donald Trump thinks the government is in a better position to tell women what's in their best interest than women are to know for themselves. But Joe Biden and I trust women. And women trust all of us to fight for their most fundamental freedoms.
Overall, a very powerful speech by Kamala Harris, as she ends by giving women, and just Americans in general, confidence that they are still fighting for our rights. And this confidence is very important right now because we keep receiving attacks on our rights and freedoms almost on a daily basis, it feels like. And when we have people saying that women should be executed for getting an abortion, we need as many allies and as much confidence as we can get. Just take a look at this outrageous clip.
Abortion should be considered a crime. It should be considered murder. You're unjustly taking the life of a human being, and so that's murder. And what I've said is what is the historic position of the Christian church, that if you take the life of a human being unjustly, then what the state owes you, if it's proven and it's true, is capital punishment. You forfeit your right to live.
It is just insane to me that people think that there's an equivalence to an actual human being and a fetus. If a fetus cannot stay alive by itself without receiving nutrients, then it's not its own living being and shouldn't be treated as such. The right is supposed to be all about pro-life, but what about this feels like pro-life? Because they're advocating for the death of women who get an abortion. That is the opposite of pro-life, that's pro-death. Because at this point, it feels like it's more pro-fetus than pro-life. And a majority of medical communities agree that a fetus is not a human being, it's just cells. And to everyone who disagrees with that, I love to show them this clip. Take a look.
Serious question, do human beings have tails?
I'm not exactly sure the essence of the question.
Do human beings have tails? Do you have a tail?
You know, I have never met anyone with a tail. I'm not exactly sure the
Exactly. But
wisdom of the
fetuses have tails. Kind of proves that at that phase, they are not a human being. They got tails. Humans don't have tails. We're not dinosaurs. Let me even show you a photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
So let me.
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look, but quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin, in life, do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
So let me
you
ask
go to
you a question.
SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium. Get the human babies out of the aquarium.
Well, you labeled it as a human fetus.
No,
so
I
you
did
that
not.
dishonestly.
No, I did not.
But
I didn't label it as anything.
Let me. But you
Doesn't say human fetus on there.
Let me ask you a question though. So let's hold up those two pictures again.
Sure.
Is there a moral difference between the dolphin and the baby?
At this stage, no.
If you cannot tell the difference between a dolphin fetus and a human fetus, can you really be calling a fetus at all a human life? Or really any animal in particular? Because at that point, it's just a clump of cells. It's just an absolute ridiculous argument, but you can't really expect to have a rational argument with people who think that women deserve to be killed and executed for having an abortion. These people are not okay and seriously need to get some help. If you don't want people in office who think that you should be killed for receiving medical care, then you need to get out and vote, like your life depends on it, because sadly, it kind of does in this case.